سوالا رو ما یه سری سوالا رو گرفتیم و
حسن آقا تو بیا این ور بشیم، آقای فرهنگ اونجا بشیم.
یه توضیح کوتاهی باید بدم.
صحبت می‌کنیم.
Explain to the reporters. Recently, the president has had few press conferences, and it's simply because he spends most of his time in the fronts and doesn't have time to be in the capital to respond to the questions coming from both Iranian and foreign reporters. Today, our session responding to the questions will last about 2 hours, and there is something which needs to be explained to you. Because the questions were submitted to us in advance, there should be absolutely no confusion that we were going through the questions in order to exclude some of them. We did this only for organizational purposes, so that we have more time to respond to the substance of the questions instead of organizing them while we are here.
وضع جبهه ها از نظر ما خوب است. من در 3 روز گذشته از 3 جبهه بازدید کردم و میتوانم با اطمینان بگویم که روحیه نیروهای مسلح ما عالی است. چون شما این سوال رو کردید، فرصتی است برای اینکه من به اختصار مطالبی رو که امروز صبح به یک خبرنگار عرب گفتم برای شما تکرار کنم. به نظر من رژیم صدام 4 اشتباه اساسی مرتکب شد در حمله به ایران و وضع امروز جبهه ها بازتاب این اشتباه هاست. اشتباه اول او خلق سخت رو پذیرفت، اما حاضر نشد به انقلاب اسلامی ما و به میهن اسلامی پشت کند و بر ضد ما عمل کند. این درس بزرگ برای ما تجربه است که این معنا رو روشن می کند که اشتراک در فرهنگ به مراتب قوی تر است از اشتراک در عربیسم. اشتباه دوم او بعد از اون دیدار تشریفاتی معارفه‌ای که ما گفتیم همین 3 تا مطلب رو اونها در همون دیدار هم گفتن ما می رویم و پیشنهادات تنظیم می کنیم و می آییم. اون بسیار خوب. فعلا دیگه به ما اطلاع دیگری ندادند. صحبت دیگری هم فیمابین نشده است.
I should explain that the peace missions, whether the Islamic Peace Committee or the foreign ministers of the 4 non-allied countries, have discussed the matters with us. The Islamic Peace Committee has submitted a peace proposal, but the non-allied foreign ministers are working on the proposal and they have yet to submit their proposal to us. I'm sure you're aware of the content of the peace proposal of the Islamic Peace Committee. We presented our views to both missions in the same fashion, in the sense that we said the Iraqi forces must unconditionally withdraw from Iranian territory behind their own borders. We also demanded that this aggression must be investigated and judgment on the nature of the aggression and the responsibility for the aggression must be issued. And we also proposed that the 1975 Algiers Agreement must be accepted as the framework within which the differences between the two countries can be settled.
Midnight in a command tent near the Desval front line. President Banisadr gets a briefing from the sector commander, a regular officer in command of regular troops. Banisadr and his staff were preparing the ground for the counter-offensive, which they launched this week.
What you must understand is that in the first few days of the attack on Iran, the Iraqis thought they would meet no great opposition, and that the war would be over in 3 or 4 days, or at the very most a week. Here in Iran as well, the authorities were of the same opinion. But things were not to turn out like that. We knew then we could not depend on Iran being resupplied with military equipment neither by the Americans, nor the Europeans, nor by anybody else. All we could hope to do was to fall back on the fighting men themselves, to reshape and reorganize them, and in doing so affect the outcome of the war.
Banisadr is winning devotion, even reverence, among the regular soldiers at the front line. To many a military historian, the idea of Banisadr as commander-in-chief would seem bizarre, even ludicrous. On most fronts, it's now the regular army that's doing the bulk of the fighting. American-built heavy artillery defending the Islamic Revolution. Iranian mortar and artillery crews have established fire superiority in many areas of the front. It's their training and equipment that may well prove decisive. But many now believe that the revolution's worst enemy is not the United States, but the split in its own ranks. President Banisadr is now the victim of a savage behind-the-scenes attack by the mullahs. They accuse him of trying to build a power base in the army. Banisadr himself remains in the south, surrounded by loyal officers in what some are now describing as a government in exile. The survival of Iran's revolutionary government has impressed the world. How will it now cope with its own victory on the battlefield?
هیئت میانجی سازمان کنفرانس اسلامی که در آن ضیاءالحق رئیس جمهور پاکستان، رئیس جمهور بنگلادش، یاسر عرفات رئیس سازمان آزادی بخش فلسطین و حبیب شکی دبیرکل سازمان کنفرانس اسلامی حضور دارند، امروز 7 مهر ماه با سفر به تهران و دیدار با مقامات ایرانی به رایزنی درباره چگونگی پایان جنگ می‌پردازند.